I'm Joshua Patrick Dudley, and I'm the writer, director, executive producer, and I play Will in New Year's Resolution. So we decided after making a bunch of stab movies and our first 3 short films that we really wanted to make more short films. They don't get as many views as our full-length movies, but they give us the opportunity to explore things that we aren't able to explore in the other movies that we're making. So we decided we were going to do 12 more short films, and we were going to film them all back to back, starting, ahead of time so that we wouldn't be behind the game, and we would release one a month, and they would all be holiday themed, and we called it the 12 Months of Terror.
Hi, I'm Rachel Alexandria Arnold, and I was executive producer and Julie in New Year's Resolution. New Year's Resolution was part of a 12 Months of Terror project that we were going to work on. We had so much fun doing the trifecta of terror that we decided, why not do one a month for an entire year? And so New Year's Resolution was obviously the very first one. It was for January.
It is the story of a man, me, named Will, who invites a group of people to his house for New Year's Eve and then poisons them all with champagne for ruining his life. Really simple idea, really simple concept.
I'm Lindsey Klossner. I played Alicia in New Year's Resolution. She was the girlfriend of Brendon's character, Dan. There's not a whole lot to be said about her because this is one of our shortest shorts that I think we've ever done in Stab Productions. I guess she cares for her friends. Apparently she's a liar, according to Josh's character. I would like the story behind that if you're ever interested in putting that out there, Josh. I would also like the story behind why the other people did you so wrong that you had to murder them and poison them. This was one of my favorite characters to portray because, I don't know, it was relatively it was an easy one, with, good lines, good blocking. I felt really confident. I really felt like I came into my own as an actress and portraying Alicia.
We actually filmed way before January. I think we filmed in October and November of the previous year, and we rented a hotel suite like we had done for some of the stab movies and decorated it to look like a New Year's party, and there was supposed to be about 10 other people that showed up as extras, so that it was a really big party, and that when I killed everyone it was like a big mass death, there was 10 people that died at once, and one extra showed up. One. Gregory Tolson. Thank you, Gregory Tolson. So because Greg was the only extra, he also got promoted, and we kind of gave him a little bit of a part. He didn't really have any lines, but we gave him a name, and we kind of worked him into the script so that it made sense that he was there and he wasn't just part of a random crowd that was no longer there. So I also had with me in there, of course, my best friend Rachel Alexandria Arnold. I had Patrick Stewart, Brendon, Vesci, and Lindsey Klossner were in New Year's Resolution with me, and they all did a fantastic job.
Hi, my name is Brendon Vesci. I played Dan in New Year's Resolution. Not so much a jock, but he was the one that kind of stood up when things went south, It was my first time on screen, so reading the lines or remembering the lines and then trying to make them convincing was a little tough. One of the first things we did when we got there, we did a kind of a table read. I think we went outside in the parking lot and we were just talking, going over our lines, practicing.
Brendon has a funny story too. Brendon wasn't supposed to be playing a part, and he was a makeup artist who was going to help me out with some of the special effects on the set. He showed up and we didn't have an actor, so we kind of convinced him to do it, and it was his first acting experience, and we love him for it because he does a killer job.
Rachel, I had never worked with directly before. I know that she's helped write and produce a lot of these, but I've never actually had a scene with her. I've been in productions with her, but I've just never had a scene with her. So it was really fun to work with her as well.
The rest of filming actually went very, very smoothly. It was a super fun time. Everybody knew their lines. Everybody was prepared. We tried some really creative close-up shots of people talking, which worked sometimes and sometimes didn't. Sometimes they came out beautiful. Sometimes they came out blurry, and we didn't notice it until it was too late and we couldn't use the shot anymore.
It went really quickly. It was filmed in one night. It was a breeze, honestly, compared to some of the other productions that I worked on. This one was a breeze, and it was just a good time.
The special effects were funny. We drew on with like Crayola markers, veins on people's face, and Patrick was the first to die, and I really didn't spend as much time on his veins as I should, so when you watch that, you'll notice how bad they are.
Patrick, the one that played Scott, he had like veins on his neck going up to his face. We used like Crayola markers and stuff. It was just so low budget.
And then I forget that Brendon was there to actually be the makeup artist, so I kind of let him do the rest of the veins on everyone as they die. And they came out much better. They're lighter, they actually look like veins, not like big chunks of shit like I drew. So, and then everybody pukes up this white foam.
When we were poisoned, we just put a little bit of water in our mouths and used Alka-Seltzer tablets to like foam up.
They either just put it in their mouth and let it dissolve with their spit, or they add a little bit of water and kind of swish it around, and their mouth was just full of this foam that they had to spit. So Patrick goes first, and his came out really thick and foamy because he just kind of put it in his mouth and sucked on it. And it worked, you know. Getting Patrick to die was a really funny story too, side note. He had a hard time falling, and it just became this funny thing that Patrick couldn't fall down dead. And the shot we use of him actually hitting the ground is so funny too, because it took us so long to get there. And then it kind of starts off this process of everybody else dying, and everybody else's foam is a little bit different.
One thing I was not prepared for, I died, so I feel like I did a really bad job. I had to spit up on Josh, who played Will, 3 times before we had a take that was even like usable. I don't think he liked it very much. Neither did I.
It was kind of funny seeing Brendon having to spit up on Josh quite a few times. That was amusing, to say the least. Yes, I did die. I died. I got poisoned, and I keeled over and drooled all over myself. Which was pretty funny, actually. You know, like, we had these Alka-Seltzer tabs that we had to like suck on and like put water in to make them really foamy, and we had to have them like sit in our mouth for a little bit to like get them going, so it was really weird. Kind of like Pop Rocks-y feeling, just having it foam up in there. And honestly, it was probably one of the more amusing death scenes that I've had.
When Brendon puked up his foam onto me because he's trying to like beat up my character, I literally almost threw up. You can see it in the bloopers, and it's the shot we used in the movie is me almost puking on him after. It's just an odd sensation. Like, I knew it was fake, but him spitting that out all over me really feels like someone's puking on you, so I instantly gagged, and it was really hard to hold back. That was probably the grossest part of filming that movie. And then they all start to puke up that foam shit and die, and everybody dies except for Rachel's character.
I'm the only person from New Year's Resolution who doesn't have to drink the foam and spit it up, which I am not sad about at all. I end up being a final girl, which was something that I had never done before, and usually everybody dies, right? But in this one, I was a final girl. It was also the first time that I felt like I had a real acting moment. Josh had to throw me up against a fridge, and at one point, you know, little Josh and much larger me, he throws me with such force that I actually reacted out of fear. And I remember him stopping and being like, okay, I can't do that again because you literally scared me. It looked like I hurt you. And he didn't hurt me at all. You know, he's never. I remember him saying, oh, that's funny because your reaction looked exactly like it should have. So that was neat.
And I asked Rachel why she didn't die, and she admits that she's a recovering alcoholic, so she didn't take a sip of the champagne. Then I end up killing her with our famous Buck 120. This was, we got some new equipment. We got a dolly, so there's some cool shots in there. The dolly we still don't use very frequently because you have to have a really smooth surface, or you have to build yourself a track to use this dolly. And it's rare that we have a smooth enough surface that we can use it. But New Year's Resolution, a couple of shots, you will see that there's some nice dolly shots in there where the camera's slowly like panning around, especially when Rachel at the end is moving toward the fridge. In the Stab movies and pretty much everything else that Rachel has been in, she pretty much always plays a badass. I mean, her character slowly turned into a badass in the Stab movies, but you know, she never really gets to play the victim. She never really dies, and I thought it would really be fun for her to have a chance to be the final girl. Like, that doesn't happen in our Stab movies. She's not the final girl because she's somehow always working with the killers, because I like when she plays crazy. But so that was really cool to have Rachel as the final girl and have it end that way. It sucks that she dies. That was the theme of all of these movies that we were making for the 12 Months of Terror, was nobody was going to live in any of them unless they were a killer. The killers could survive, but that would be it. So my character lives and everybody else dies, and it ends with me laughing, which I got so many comments on that I actually echoed it again when we made Christmas Wish. My character laughs into the credits as well. Just because apparently I have a creepy laugh that people think is weird.
It was very like run and gun filming. We did it all in, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours. So it's definitely an interesting first experience, I guess.
New Year's resolution was great, and it was an awesome start to the 12 months of terror that we didn't finish, but I'm glad we made it, and I'm glad we tried something new. And we even took the time to try new things, like we tried new title sequences and stuff like that, just to really show the fans that we're capable of giving them more than all they want from us, which is the Stab movies, but we're happy to try to put some original stuff out there too, and hope that you guys watch it.